welcome to Rockfield. Rockfield is a medium to small-sized city on the coast of South Carolina. It used to be an industrial town, first founded shortly after the American Civil War, but over the years, it's become a little bit depressed. Economically, the town is largely kept afloat by the industrial park, mostly owned by Hardy Hearth, a Cosley subsidiary company that makes a number of instant meals and, like, freezer food section bullshit. This world's equivalent of the Hot Pocket, the Hearth Pocket, is made by them, as well as a few other things. In addition to that, there's a logging camp and like a lumber industry just north of the national park, and most people are involved in industry supporting that or tourism. But we're coming to this world shortly after the COVID pandemic, so a already somewhat economically depressed town got even more depressed and a little slower. It's been rough, but things are opening back up. There's signs of activity picking back up. Travis Reed University is open again. Most of the entertainment district is open again. Fantastic Park and Amity Zoo are both open. And life is starting to slowly come back. Drips and drabs here and there, but the worst of it seems to be done. Do we have any volunteers who wants to go first?
I could go.
Sure. Stella Noir, you're a new transplant to the city of, to Rockfield County. The city of Rockfield being like sort of the downtown hub for a number of small satellite towns and suburbs with a large, dense urban core. You came here for a particular reason, no?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Mind sharing with the class what that is? Or should I?
You can share it.
You came here... Well, I assume part of it was to be closer to your father, who works at Hardy Hearth, actually, as a, I believe, chemical engineer?
Yes, he works for them.
But it was also to investigate something that has been with you your whole life. Something of a family curse. Yes? At least that's...
Tragedy.
So go ahead. Family tragedy?
A family tragedy. Some unanswered questions and things that I need to find out.
There's a lot going on, but the crux of it was your mother died in childbirth, and looking into some family history, everyone on your mother... There's only ever been one living person on your mother's side of the family, no?
Only ever been one. As soon as someone new is born, the other one dies.
Strange. Again,
Very.
some people would call it a curse. But...
It all dates back to this here town.
As far as the paper trail goes, yes. But personal investigations for a private eye often have to go by the wayside for paying the bills on this new, not particularly lived-in apartment, no.
Decorations. I'm not here half the time.
True that. Which, honestly, might have something to do with the dead plants.
I'm trying.
Effort's all we can ask for, actually, but... Like I said, work often comes before personal projects, and in your case, always comes before houseplants. And you have a few contacts in town to help you not only resolve your work, but sometimes get you some. And we come to you on a September afternoon. It's just getting to the weekend. And you get a text from a contact, one Sam Higgins.
What does the text say?
Pick up your damn phone and call me. I got a job.
Fuck, okay. I dialed the number for him.
Okay, and I'm going to show a portrait to the players here and everybody. I'm just going to show what they look like briefly. Bit of a fuckboy. honestly, but, you know, they're useful. Know a lot. And in this case, they have actual work for you. The phone rings once before picking up. Stella! Yo, how we doing? Big plans
Hey,
this
Sam.
weekend, girl?
Do I ever have plans for the weekend? You know me better by now. What you got for me?
Come on. We have got... Well, when money's not on the line, we've gotta get you out clubbing. Like, come on, girl. Fuck. Do you... This might be inappropriate, but do you ever even get laid?
No. Why would I?
Is that like a moral philosophical question? Like, are you
No,
alive?
Sam, it just means I'm not interested.
Like in me? Because I'm flattered, and you are cute, but like, I know some girls.
Sorry, Sam, I don't swing anyways. Now back to work. What do you have for me?
Okay, world expanding revelation to begin with. I didn't know that was a possibility. Yeah, I got a client, right? You know I deal in information and finding stuff out. The
Best
main
in
reason
town.
you come to me. Thank you. Flattery would normally get you in my bedroom, but we just learned that's not a possibility. Um,
Well, I can't lie. You're good at your job, Sam.
oh, I'm even better in bed. But, you know, I'm sorry. I'm a little bricked up.
It's fine.
Plus, good. I know this client came by and visited me, and they are. Well, you just said you're not interested, so I'm not going to waste my breath. Right. They wanted intel on something, and I know where it might be, but they wanted visual confirmation and a few other details, and I am not a field agent. They were
But
very
you know
insistent. It's going to be a simple thing. Have you ever worked with the illegal relic trade? Like the art smuggling and thievery?
I know a bit about it. Been here and there. Where do you need me to go?
There's this thing, weird pendant, edgy as fuck name. It's being held. There's a private auction slash event going on. Have you ever been to the old church?
I've had a steak out there before.
You've had a stakeout at a nightclub and shopping center?
You'd be surprised what people hire me for, even if it's just to have eyes on someone.
Shit, bitch, you should write a novel. Yeah, there's some sort of private soiree, art show slash hobnob and bullshit thing, and in the back they've got a bunch of stolen artifacts. The client needs you to get visual confirmation of the presence of an object. They have a special weirdo beardo camera doohickey thing they want you to carry on you. Little spy gadget thing. Fits in your lapel pin. They just want you to get eyes on it. I've got you some fake credentials that'll get you in as an art connoisseur. You just need to confirm the object's there. You don't need to secure it. The police will come grab it once they know it's in the wrong hands.
Sounds like a clean job. Where do I get you?
I forget. You're still in Reed Heights. You haven't moved out of that showroom apartment in Reed Heights, have you?
Of course not. It does the job.
Stella, are you even? Do you have a pulse? Because I swear to God, if you got a comfortable enough cot in a walk-in closet, I think you'd be happy with it.
I've heard coffins are pretty comfortable, but I haven't tried one yet.
I can't tell if that's a joke or not.
Maybe. But I wouldn't be adverse to trying one. It's not a bad way to spy on someone. No one ever checks the coffin.
How the? Okay, you might not. We're having a chat out. You drink coffee, right? You have like small chemical pleasures in caffeine, right? Because this sounds like I need to pick your brain over a coffee.
Coffee, a nice bakery place. We can arrange it.
Sure. There's There's a coffee joint on. Uh, well, it's Reed Boulevard by corner of Lilac Meadows.
Mm-hmm.
I'll meet you there. Pass off the shit. Get shit rolling. How's that sound?
Sounds good. I'll get my stuff and see you soon.
All right, toodles, bitch.
See ya,
Hands up.
Simon. I get up from wherever I was at the time, start getting my gear together, and at least look a little bit more presentable.
He did say you were infiltrating something of a soiree, so something on the nicer side might not go awry.
Yep. Do my hair, make sure everything is well done, makeup and everything. Look a bit more classic.
Alright, I'm not gonna make you do a roll for anything like that. Because I don't... Because, yeah, I'm not gonna have a roll for that. We'll assume you've got a nicer set of clothes for dealing with clients and or upper crust sort of situations.
An outfit for every occasion. You never know where you need to blend in.
You meet Sam. Still got that same sort of, like, little too energetic fuckboy energy about him.
Keep him away from the college.
Look, okay, I'm not that much of a creep. Consent is key. For real though, he hands you this little gizmo thing. It's
like a lapel pin?
It's a little bit bigger than a lapel pin. Have you ever seen a body cam or like a wire from like a television show? It's a bit like that. It's a tiny little camera with a glassy black lens covering it that looks like a lapel pin, with a wire coming out of the back of it going down to what looks like a radio transceiver or battery pack about the size of a deck of cards. You're allowed to roll wits plus awareness as he hands it to you.
Let me see. Wits plus awareness. That's 2. So that's 4 I'm rolling for you. 2 successes.
There's a little jolt of static electricity when he hands it off to you. You're sure it's fine. And out of the corner of your eye, you see a fairly large rat. Right by the coffee shop. First, you give it no mind. You're in the middle of an urban center across from a public park. But it's a little odd. It almost feels like it's looking at you. Directly at you. Through the glass from outside.
I'm going to keep eye contact with it and talk to Sammy a bit. Sammy, how sure are you on this gizmo? Just asking.
I haven't tested it myself, to be honest, but the client I do this for, they are one of my big, like, frequent flyers, you know? They're good people, their money spends well, and I'm not gonna lie, little intimidating. Little, I'm not sure what they're up to, like... I don't know what they want with this fucking bit they're setting you after, this little trinket, because they don't look like the art collector type, and they don't typically ask me for Robin Hood shit, you know? Not stealing something that was stolen from the rich and manning it back to the right hands type shit. Smells a little funny, but I doubt they'd burn a well-established bridge like ours over, like, some petty grudge, you know?
Might be worth something to them, family heirloom or something. Besides, art is a good investment.
Yeah. Honestly, though, they do not strike me as the investor type. But let me give you the lowdown on the thingy. They don't have a picture of it or anything. It's a pendant. Palm about the size of your palm of your hand. little black gemstone in the center, goldish, brassy material apparently. Should be on a long chain. Like I said, edgy as fuck name. It's called, one second, he pulls out a pen and paper notepad, actually, and flips through it for a second. It is called The Heart of Corruption. So,
now that just sounds delightful.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Skyrim thing for a minute there, not gonna lie. But
Oblivion.
yeah, I guess.
Did you look it up? See if you've got any sort of record of this thing?
I always do my homework. Okay, Stella? And
That's why his camera zapped me.
static electricity, static electricity. The rat is still looking dead at you. It has not moved an inch.
Can I do a perception on the rat?
Sure.
So, just pure perception, or do I add anything else to it for you?
You're going to roll wits plus perception.
Wits plus perception. 5, 6, 7.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, because the 1 is a -1, the 10 is unnegatable, and you would otherwise have had 5 successes there. It's. You feel like your eyes are playing tricks on you for a minute there? The rat looks like a mostly normal rat until
I also have acute senses.
Sorry, say
I
again?
don't know that kind. I have acute senses and specific on visual. Do you want that too?
Oh yes, that will help because that will double the successes on the 10. So that's 5 successes.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot.
More successes, the better. The rat looks mostly normal until you realize its size. This isn't like a regular field mouse or like a city rat. This is a New York City rat. This is a big boy, and not like big as in chunky, like a well-fed rodent. This thing's like a little bit bigger than like a bunny rabbit. Like it's a little smaller than a small cat. It's a big fucking rat.
And I know that you don't get that here.
You shouldn't get those, period. And as it's watching you, staring at you with these beady little red eyes, you're a little taken aback by its size until you notice it's sitting on the side of the sidewalk, like across the like just outside the window, and someone's body comes in, passing them. They're just walking on the street, not jumping and freaking out because there was a rat the size of a small monster in front of them at all. And the really fucking weird thing is, you almost don't see this because of the way their body passes in front of you. Their foot goes through it.
That's mildly concerning.
The rodent, this is why you think your eyes are playing tricks on you. The rodent physically occupies the same space as a human being for a fraction of a second, and does not respond to having matter overlapping its matter.
I'm gonna, while Sam is doing this, bring up my phone and just say, well, tell me if you found anything else on that thing. And while he's telling me, I'm gonna bring up my phone looking like I want reception, but just take a photo of where the rat is.
It doesn't show up on your camera.
Okay. Is it still there?
You look past the phone. It's not.
Yeah. Joy.
Sammy does explain while you're doing that this artifact, this heart of corruption, he can't find anything on it. No records of sale, no public display, no loans to any sort of museums. It seems to have been a personal effect that, as far as he can tell, the paper trail is it showing up at a private auction tonight. And even that paper trail is dicey because this is a secret auction, and a number of things being sold off are... they're weird occult things. Like,
I'm
there's a
interested.
copy of the of a book called the Necronomicon being sold, and a copy of something called the Book of Nod being sold.
I mean, this auction you're talking about,
Yeah.
are people actively bidding on things, or am I just there to evaluate?
There's gonna be bidding. Just play the part. The credentials I got you, this little IT tag, he slides it across the table, and well, it's not an ID tag. It's a little invite, almost like a business
And yeah,
card or something like that. This is your RSVP. You were invited.
who am I
Um,
going as?
your name is. You're gonna get mad at this.
They spelled my name wrong again, didn't they?
What do you mean?
They put one L in again, or two L's in again,
No,
didn't they,
Stella,
Sammy?
we're not rookies here. I didn't put your name or your misspelled name down. Stella
Hmm.
with one L. You're gonna get
I
pissed because the pseudonym they managed to get me was Ivana Hardon.
just deadpan. Look at him. Sammy,
Yeah.
we have a very good friendship. And we work
Yeah.
really well together, but sometimes I consider contacting the morgue for a different body.
Hey, 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 hey. I know the people who set that up too, okay? Don't joke about that.
I'm not. I know the morticians. It's fine.
Oh, well, shit. Hold on. Greek guy or, like, older lady?
Don't
Or...
worry, Sammy. Just the normal police station ones. Not any private
Okay,
ones.
yes. Okay, cool. Just
It
so
makes
you
it easier
know.
to cover up.
What door are you doing? Whatever, I'll find out eventually. I'm not the one who picked the name, okay?
Anything I should know about this pseudonym, personality-wise? Anyone there know this person?
No, you're a rich bitch from Germany, apparently. No, Russia. Hence Ivana.
Please tell me.
He shrugs.
I
You're
just face
there.
plant.
You're there looking to like get some antiquities for a private collection. Um, just get confirmation and get the fuck out of there. These
Any
people.
secret passwords and shit in order to get to the back rooms?
It's an art show in the front rooms. Find a bouncer near the back. Should be. Who the fuck was it? I don't know. Who would? Well, okay. So here's the rub. You know, look for a Korean guy. Be respectful. Be careful because word has it this is being orchestrated by members of the. Hold on a moment. Your GN is loading. This is being orchestrated by members of the Jew-in Mafia.
This clean job just got a whole lot dirtier, Sammy.
Hey, you're just confirming something's there so the cops can go in and start arresting people, okay?
So get in, confirm, get out.
Correct. Any trouble happens, also get out. The little gizmo gabbly thing there has a radio transceiver. I don't know if it's got a mic, but we'll be able to tell if you're in trouble. And the guys who commissioned this,
Mm-hmm.
now they don't typically do things particularly dirty or like fucked, but they know how to handle themselves when they're nearby. Plus, apparently the police are on standby. It's gonna. Well, the event's starting at 8 o'clock. Action's gonna be at 10, so be as early as you'd like. Don't be late.
I'll be fashionably on time.
Sure.
I just shoot him a smirk.
That was a joke? I can't tell with you.
It was. I try, Sammy. Give me some credit. I'm not all stone.
I'll give you a C plus for trying. That's about as generous as I'm feeling tonight.
It's possible. Right. I'll get the job done and let you know as soon as something happens.
Bet. He just stands up, gives you a pat on the shoulder, and starts heading out.
I kind of shrug because I don't like physical contact. Sammy.
My bad. No touchy. Keep it in mind.
Is the rat there again?
Give me another wits plus awareness. Specifically awareness.
So wits plus where's the button?
As a little just as a little note here, awareness is specifically for supernatural things. Alertness is specifically for mundane things. And you said you had good eyesight?
I had the acute senses, and it specifically affects my eyesight.
Okie dokie. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. It is. However, it is now attempting to obfuscate itself from you. It's like tucked itself behind some trash. Let's watching.
How far away from it am I?
You're sitting at at a table near one of the windows, so you can just see right out. It's at this point it's watching from the street corner, so getting out of the front door and then over to it about 20-30 feet. About I think that's 7-10 meters if you're metric inclined.
I'm gonna sit for a few more minutes and just see if it stays there.
It does.
I'll pay for my drink and have a little walk close to where it was.
Once you leave the cafe, you look to where it was. It has moved. It's not there.
Can I try and find it again?
Give me another wits plus awareness. It is now gone. You cannot see it.
Before I leave, I want to go check where I saw it the first time and where it popped up the second time, if there's anything like left in the area.
You look around the spot where it was sitting watching you while you were sitting and having your coffee and talking to Sam. It is not there. You go to the street corner by the little pile of trash and the light post where it was watching you. It is not there, and there's no signs of it having been there. Like, there's no rat droppings or no disturbed dirt. For all intents and purposes, you cannot find anything there at all. Well, unless you would like to roll like a... Is investigation in this WOD game?
I think so. One moment. Yes, it is.
If you would like to roll me a perception investigation.
Okay, 1 second.
Your attentive will kick in here. So that's 1, 2 for attentive, -1, and then another -1. But that's a 10, so 10s can't be negated, so that's 2 successes. Pointedly, you find nothing. So you know for sure that there is no signs of this thing having been there.
I make a note on my phone. Remember to tell Dad that soda has weird effects.
Hold on. Have you drunk any of that energy drink your dad sent you or brought you today?
I think I would have tried one to try the taste of it. See if I like it in the first place.
Well, you have felt wired all day then. You felt energized. Well, after you drank it, you felt like you like you jumped into a cold pool of water. That sort of shocking, sudden alertness had come over you.
It's not concerning at all. So I just doubt that down hyper and seeing shit.
Noted.
I'll get in my car and make my way to where I need to go.
Right, I was gonna say it's a short drive because I'll bring into the world map real fast. Uh, the old cathedral is, like, it's over here, and you were effectively over here.
Mm-hmm.
But traffic along Reed Boulevard is a fucking nightmare. Like, you're only going a mile. It's gonna take you like 20 minutes.
I'll get close to it and just park my car not within view of the place, and then walk the rest of the way.
Sure. And while you're doing that, we're going to cut to another part of the city. I believe, Eleanor, you live in Manor Valley, near Belmont Hills, yes?
Yes.
Well, we cut to your family abode in that part of town, a historical district that used to be, like, one of the nicer parts of the city. Not quite mansion... Well, actually, according to its name, there were several mansions here for many years, and a number of nice townhouses and estates. But as time and redevelopment have marched on, more and more of it has been consumed by downtown like a crawling, creeping growth. Between old townhouses that are now like 7 or 8 story tall glass and steel edifices parked between brick and stone construction of weathered and antique make. Your home, your family home among them. How do we find you today?
What time of the day would it be?
Afternoon, getting into evening, on a Friday, September. Days are getting cooler. You haven't been contacted by your patron yet, by the by.
Yeah, if she didn't have a job, then she would likely, in the mid-afternoon, she's probably cooking. Probably find her just kind of sleeves rolled up, pounding away on some dough. Probably gonna make some bread for the afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Sourdough, instant yeast, baking soda. Like, what kind of bread are you thinking?
She's probably gonna make a bunch of flatbread.
Ooh. Nice. You have a patron. Yes, a mysterious benefactor who has been good to your family through many years. Yes, and they have contacted you through various means for odd jobs that pay what someone would believe are suspiciously good rates.
Too good to be true.
Absolutely. Especially
The kind of job you work 6 days out of the year and still live exorbitantly.
They have need of you more often than that, but it's like gopher work, courier work, maybe like a couple of small tasks that may seem a touch shady, like drop off this weird package there, or deliver this message to someone and walk away without a word. But, usually you get a lot of notice, and you've never been in danger. It's none that you've known. What's the weirdest way you think you've been contacted by your patron? Because they've never, called you or sent you a message. It's always been,
probably
good?
Waking up in the morning and finding, a sealed letter on her kitchen table.
Yeah. That has occurred once or twice. Usually there's, dead drops or, a note slid under your door. Or something in your mailbox.
Or it's in the mailbox.
Yeah, that's the most common one. When things are more urgent, they show up a little bit more oddly. I would like you to roll me a wits plus alertness. Real fast.
Okay. I'm using physical dice for this.
Okie dokie. Your
what is the difficulty
number is going to be 6 here.
Okay, what is the TINS rule for this campaign?
If you have a specialization, they're doubled. If you don't have a specialization, they can't be negated by ones.
Okay. 4 successes.
4 successes. So you have an excellent lay of the land of your kitchen. It's your kitchen. You grew up in here. You use it every day. You've created a number of loaves of bread and delicious meals here. You know it. maybe not like the back of your hand, but you would know if someone was in it with you, and you would certainly notice someone writing a
She
note
would keep
with
it like so
flour.
meticulously clean when it's not in use that if a speck of dust like appeared, she would immediately notice it.
Yeah, that's why it's so weird that there is a handwritten note from your patron pinned to your fridge.
It's like pinned under like a child picture magnet or something.
Yeah, it's like, if you have those little alphabet magnets, it's on one of them.
She's like kneading away on the bread for a little while, and then she does kind of like the look up because she thought she heard something, and then looks down and then realizes something was different. It looks back at the fridge. It's like, oh. She like turns around, goes to the sink, washes her hands, got to do the usual thing, and she walks over to the envelope and picks it up as delicately as she would any other. She probably goes upstairs to the lounge where she would have like previous letters.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a letter opener that she slides in delicately and just slices it open.
You slice it open in the same handwriting it's always been. Same very neat penmanship, a little archaic actually, written in cursive script, is a note that reads urgent. Target needs to be followed. Report on their activities. Do not engage. Extra reward. Tonight. The name of the target it lists is one Loretta Morgan. It gives a
Loretta
location.
Morgan?
Yes, Loretta Morgan. It gives a location where you can find them, and it tells you to follow them.
Okay. Where do I need to find her?
Do you know where the police headquarters is?
She would. She regularly goes for walks and runs in the morning.
It's not far
So she'd
from
have a
your
decent
abode.
lay of the city.
Yeah, it's where Southwalk meets Reed Heights to near Roland Stadium. If I'll bring it back to the world map real fast, because I am looking at it myself while I describe this. It's right around here where this big road bends to hit Roland Stadium. Around here. It's a big building, modern, tall, helicopter pad. It's really hard to miss as it towers over what's left of Manor Valley and Amity Park that are still suburban, and it sort of blends into the skyline going into Southwalk and Reed Heights.
Well then, she's going to set the letter down, probably like face down, into the. There's probably like I wouldn't say significant pile, but like it's like a laid out and organized thing. She doesn't have an office, or she doesn't use the office that's in the house. But so she has like a coffee table in this little lounge upstairs that just has like a pile of probably, I don't know, 12 to 14 letters, just neatly organized.
Organized by like date or task?
It's likely that she has just put them down each time she's gotten them there. So they're just coincidentally chronological.
Okay. Right. You're tasked with tailing this person. Do you get on this immediately?
Almost immediately. She's going to do all of her usual pre-prep, which means she's going to get properly dressed because she's probably wearing like some sort of relaxing version of her clothes because she usually just kind of either like lounges around the house doing her various little hobbies. So she's going to her bedroom and she's going to get, as she would describe it, as just dressed.
I have one question for you. You've been tasked with finding this person, following them, seeing what they're up to tonight. You don't know what they look like. How do you find out?
Ooh, that's a good question. She would probably, after she got dressed, she would have that realization, like kind of like a goofy, like, wait a second, there was no picture in that. And she goes back to the lounge, which basically, again, is either basically adjacent. This is an old townhouse, so it's almost kind of like shotgun style. So it goes from like room to room to room with only a couple rooms that actually like
Like, the first floor is definitely meant for hosting people and having good motion and, like, open space, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you can basically see the back door from the front door.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she goes from her room back to the lounge, back to the coffee table where there's just an old Apple laptop sitting on the coffee table that she's now going to use to look up this woman on, say, like Facebook.
Like a thing from the 90s? Or like the early 2000s?
No, not quite that old. Probably like a 2015, 2016.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like one that's not brand new, not great, may have some kerfuffles here and there.
I was mostly checking because you live in an antique house full of antique things. And I wanted
just
to know
imagine
if you
her
were, like,
having like kind of like the
Apple II.
bubbly, like I was gonna say like the old Apple fucking laptop that's like kind of clear with like the fogged plastic and the colors.
Yeah. 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, she does the kind of thing where like none of the high tech stuff is built into the house or anything. But like she still has like a laptop and a smartphone.
I imagine there are a bunch of extension cords just strewn about at the floorboards, just so you don't have to remodel it or run wiring through the place.
It was probably actually remodeled like earlier before
okay.
she was probably even alive. So there's probably like things that you can very obviously tell are like additional like plugs, cables, and stuff built into the house. So it's like the external wiring coming down the wall instead of like in the wall.
So yeah, it was like modernized, but like modernized in the 70s.
Yes.
Right? Okay, cool.
Yes, exactly. The light switches, whenever you flick them, they make a really loud and satisfying thunk.
Almost like you're throwing a circuit breaker.
Oh yeah.
So please give me Let's go. I'm not sure if this is going to be intelligence or perception plus computer. But it's going to be one of those. Let's go intelligence,
okay.
Because you're trying to use like a search engine here.
Yeah. Difficulty.
You're just doing a Google search on someone's identity or checking Facebook. It's only going to be like a difficulty 5.
2 successes.
2 successes. It doesn't take you long to find them. Not at all. In fact, yeah, it comes up pretty quick. Loretta Morgan looks like this. You also find out some information on their identity. They are a local woman, originally from Prince Hills, which is the large sort of brown brickstone area to the north of your area, north of Lilac Meadows Park. She is also the chief of police.
Oh my.
I think she's the chief of police. Let me double check that.
Yes. I was gonna say, if she's like the chief of police, that's actually probably something that Eleanor would know off the top of her head. It's kind of like the situation of like everybody kind of sort of knows like who the sheriff of their county is.
Yeah.
Even if it's like they may not know it if you ask them who's the sheriff, but if they read the sheriff's name, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is."
Sure. Well, your DM comes from one of the largest metropolitan cities on Earth. I have no idea who the chief of police is in my city, so. But considering this is a city of like 200, 300,000 people, I could absolutely see that. Yeah.
Because I at least say that because I've lived in big cities and small towns, so.
Yeah, no, you'd know the name.
Granted, you're probably right. I did not know my chief of police when I lived up north, so.
You might have heard their name in passing in a news article or like something like that.
Like if they like opened a new thing or something.
They might have
chief
opened
of
a new
police
thing
cuts
lately.
ribbon at.
I think it was probably from a big case, a bust-up of some criminal organization. Most likely, actually, it was making strides against a local criminal organization called the Jewin Mafia. Group of...
Can you spell that?
Let me just throw it into one of our chats here. I'll just read it out loud.
Keep it in the side chat if you would like.
JU-IN Mafia. They are a local gangs, like, they are you're from here, right?
Yes.
They're a homegrown Korean mafia organization that sprouted up after the Korean War. In recent decades, their leadership has undergone a shakeup because they used to be a ethnically driven gang, only Koreans were allowed in, but since the 1990s, they've been letting in just anyone who's Asian, and they've lost most connections with their, like, ethno-linguistic roots, and are kind of like a homegrown, like, pan-Asian, American, like, criminal organization.
They went from, like, still being very much, like, cultural and, like, only speaking Korean.
Yeah, they went from
just
that
kind
to
of
being
letting
like,
everyone in.
fuck it, let's make some motherfucking money. There are also in this area Crips and Bloods, as well as like other national gang groups like Latin Kings
In South Carolina.
I don't know the criminal gang makeup of South Carolina. Actually, I did do some research on this like 2 months ago. I think it's primarily Bloods. Might just be the Crips. I don't know. But there are national crime organizations. There might even be the Italian mob here somewhere. Your DM's not sure. But the Jewian Mafia are local, homegrown, and a local issue. And you probably saw a news report about Loretta Morgan having some bust against them. Or leading some crackdown.
Now I have a question. This is primarily for flavor. What kind of Facebook does she have? Because she's the chief of police, does she only post about like police accomplishments and like doing community stuff, or is her Facebook like family woman, like always like pictures of kids, pictures of family members?
It's a mix of things. You with two successes, you find that
reposting shitty memes.
There's no shitty memes. It's a very serious Facebook, but they have a few family posts about their husband, about their kids. Their husband is apparently in the district attorney's office. They've effectively they've effectively reposted a couple of like news events from him, or like some fancy events from them going like out together, or like there's a gala or event being hosted by the DA or the police academy, and there's pictures of her with her husband. And how deep do you go back in her profile?
Probably until she's satisfied or expects that it's getting close to the time where she expects Loretta to come out of the police station.
Okay, so you're just combing through it. There are pictures of her kids. There's a recent post from like August of like, let's see here. Let me show this portrait to everyone again. Of her with her daughter. This young woman, name of Melissa Morgan, is listed on their Facebook, and a message saying, "Big win for the country and for Rockfield County." Hold on a moment, your DM is checking the name of a place. Travis Reed University finally reopened in wake of the pandemic. Remember to get your vaccines today. That sort of thing. And it's a picture of her with a moving box and her daughter cringing, and her husband in the background lifting a box into a dorm room downtown.
I have a question, because I just noticed this detail on the character picture. Does Loretta have purple eyes?
Yes.
GM, I have a question. I have another question.
Yeah.
Is that odd in your world here?
Well,
Because that's not a natural eye color.
I am aware. Let's dial it back and just say that is artistic license. They're like blue.
Okay, I just didn't want to make sure that it was like something else, because I was like,
it is
DM?
not a weird supernatural thing. It's your DM for getting this as a anime. Yeah. Did I give that to Melissa? No, Melissa has brown eyes. They're brown eyes. I might change that later.
yeah, I was gonna say the daughter has brown eyes, so
Yeah. It might actually have been your DM forgetting to color in her pupils and then them changing to match the background color of the art.
could be. I wouldn't doubt it. That makes sense. I was just curious because I noticed it and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, no, she has normal human eye color. So
I say after a while, she's probably satisfied with what she's seen and has enough details to know who to look for. She's... She's probably not bringing, like, any arms or anything with her, so she's just going as is.
Mm-hmm.
Got house keys in one pocket, phone in the other. And she walks out of her house, locks the door naturally, leaves the porch light on, walks down a couple of steps, crosses a tiny sidewalk that's in her. You could call it a lawn, but you could reach the front porch from the gate, so, you know.
Yeah. It's like a tiny splash of green space you could plant some flowers in, maybe.
Yeah. And it's like filled with like flowers to the point where like you really only walk on the sidewalk and maybe you have space for 1 foot of green before it just turns into flowers. And she opens the wrought iron fence, looks down to her side for a second. There's a little cooler there. Just says free drinks on it, and then she checks it to see if it needs restocking or anything. GM, how many Gatorades and water are still in that cooler?
Let's see. Let's look at your character sheet real fast. Do you have the resources background at all?
Let me double check. I don't
You have patron.
think so. I'm sorry. I'm confused by the new character sheet that's in Roll20. So I was like, oh, no, I don't have resources.
You don't have resources, but you have patron. You have 2 dots in patron. So roll me a d10. You have that many.
Just a D10?
Just a d10.
9.
You have 9 Gatorades, sodas, bottles of water. Yeah.
All right, it's decently full then still. She for anybody who's confused, she leaves weirdly enough, while she's stoic herself, she leaves a cooler out for the neighborhood kids or anybody passing by that needs a drink.
Kind. You're just gonna leave that there and then head over to the police department?
Yep.
Okay.
She's probably just gonna do like... Is there anywhere where it seems like she could either just kind of seem nonchalantly like tucked away, preferably like across the street from it?
Over by there's the Roland Stadium parking lot, which is fucking huge. There's also just a bunch of benches. That part of town is still pretty spread out because it's where 2 suburbs meet downtown. They've tried to preserve a little bit of green space. There might be a plaza.
Is there like a bus station or something that she could pretend to be waiting at?
Oh, most definitely. Absolutely. In fact, actually, there's a subway station, like, on that corner, now that I'm looking at the map directly.
Okay, if there's a subway station, she's essentially going to go kind of stand by it and, like... Is this like an underground subway station, or is this an above ground?
It's an underground train line.
Okay. Dang, I want to live in this South Carolina.
Look,
I want to live in a South Carolina that has subways.
Your New York City storyteller is going to put a subway in every city he goes to, okay?
Thank God. Thank God. I'm so proud of you, GM. You're giving small southern towns good public transit that they don't actually have.
The world might be dark, but I'm going to put public transit in, okay? That's it. Yeah, so you head there.
Thank God.
It's also honestly better to just walk it, or take a...
Oh yeah, she basically walks everywhere. She actually does not own a car.
Okay. This part of town's traffic isn't horrible. It's not like trying to go down Reed Boulevard or like trying to get out of town by any way other than like the South Highway. Yeah. So it's not going to take you super long. And as you head out your way over there, we're going to cut across town again. To a building that will have a bunch of people in it having a good time. Hold on a moment while your GM finds a picture inside of a giant list of pictures. Hopefully I uploaded this. Did I not upload this? Son of a bitch, I didn't upload this. Oh, no. Back. Hold on a moment while your DM makes another room with another picture. This is rather annoying because this is one of the first things I made. Oh, no, I did. I am a fool. So, We cut back to Stella. Stella,
I
you've
did.
arrived at the old church. The old church is kind of what it says on the tin. It is an old cathedral that was put up in the late 1800s that the archdiocese or the Protestant church or whoever owned it sold off to a private interest group many years ago. And now it's a mixed event space of sorts. Right now, it's kind of a weird mix between a nightclub and an art gallery. There are a bunch of booths lining the walls underneath the archways that cover the large cross section of the cathedral, as cathedrals are built in the shape of a cross. And there's a number of people inside having a decent time looking at the works of local artists. But since you've been here, you've heard this place being used as a nightclub, as a concert venue. Most commonly, it bounces between a, like I said, nightclub and shopping gallery.
Mm.
Yeah, it's... The front of it's public and easy to get into, that no one stops you coming in. There's a large amount of people milling about the open space, looking at local paintings, local sculptures, all set up and around. And where there'd be a DJ booth, where there'd be an altar in a church normally, so at the sort of T intersection of the cross structure, there is instead a large table with what looks to be a silent auction and an auctioneer, just sort of milling about.
I'm just gonna say I did not bring my weapons with me.
You did not bring a
So
weapon, okay.
recon. So I do not have my gun with me.
Okay.
I'm kind of worried they'd search me at the back.
We'll
I
find
did
out.
I did put the camera and stuff on like a brooch behind my collar and stuff. So that is all.
Would you mind
did
doing
I-
a quick roll about that?
What would you like?
Let's call it dexterity streetwise. Because I'm feeling kind.
I'm glad you're feeling kind because I have that.
That's gonna be 2 successes there. Yeah. You managed to tuck it in. I'm gonna call it streetwise because, you know, you got the lowdown on it by a plucky, overly sexual twink.
Yes.
So you managed to, like, make it look like a brooch. At least you think it looks like a brooch.
Okay. Did I arrive as the event is starting? Do I still have those 2 hours before the backroom piece starts or not?
Yes. You got there fashionably on time, as you said. So you got there and the place was... It didn't have a lot of people in it when you came in. There were a few people already milling about, already looking at local art. A couple of people were still putting up a couple of paintings, actually. A little bit of last minute putting things together.
Can I get like a good scan of the room of the people in there?
Sure, give me a wits alertness. Just to, if you just want to like get the makeup and look of people. If you want to like read the room, that'd be a different roll though.
No, just get the makeup of who's here.
Sure.
Eh.
Yeah, they're people. They're all in nice suits. A couple
It's
people are
black
in
tie.
nice evening wear. Black tie, definitely. Well, a mix of black tie and like urban wear and like niced up urban wear. Like you see a few people in like a hoodie and a blazer, or like oddly enough, like fancy punk attire, like a cool leather jacket overneath an evening dress with combat boots, and like it's easy enough for you to tell the difference between people exhibiting art and people here to hobnob and buy art.
Side one, can I see if I see that rat again by chance? Am I still seeing shit?
What's alertness?
What's alertness?
No, awareness. Awareness is your supernatural stuff. Hectic, remind yourself, damn it.
Just to see if that drink's still fun. Never mind.
Yes. You think you catch a glimpse of a very large rat in this building out of the corner of your eye. It's only there for a second there, and you're not entirely sure if it's your mind playing tricks or not, or if you're just being paranoid. But for a flash, you see the furry body of a creature scurrying into the building.
Since I'm still early for the back room, I mean, I want to go and have a look at some of the art that's being exhibited.
You mill around for a bit, and you see a painting of a woman. Then a man examining it. The man... They're big. They're smoking. Well, actually, they're not smoking, but they're going to be smoking in this image, but they themselves are not smoking. I will show you the man. Tall, broad of shoulder, chiseled face. How up and up are you on fashion? And, like, the cuts of
Decently.
suits?
Decently, since I need to know that about certain jobs.
Go ahead and roll me real fast. And intelligence.
Mhm.
There's no fashion skill here, so I'll call it streetwise again. Seems a little old-fashioned. Not out of the ordinary, though.
Can I get like a lowdown on him? Like me have a good look at him.
Well, sure, actually, you can. They're tall, about 6'2", broad of shoulder, look nicely dressed. You can tell the suit's nice. And they're just staring at this painting of a woman. Your DM did not load this in because he didn't figure you'd linger long here, but I'll put it anyway.
Sorry.
It's absolutely okay. Do not even worry about it for a second. I just need to click and drag this into the correct window. You see this painting. Old-fashioned woman. Actually, is this visible? Did I put it on the wrong way? No, this is on the map. I'm a fool. Your DM is a fool.
It's okay.
I forgot from up there that I have several windows open. You see this painting of a woman.
Usually where the painting stuff is displayed, there's like a name of the artist and a name of the painting. Is there a name of this painting?
The painting is called Amanda Hawthorne. A portrait of Amanda Hawthorne. It is... You don't recognize the name. This is the DM telling you for free. The name's not important.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman's looking at it intently. Sees you looking at them. Looks over the painting. Lovely portrait, you don't you think?
Very well painted.
Yeah. I wonder how they, managed to put this together. There's not any, like, color photographing of this old lady. No disrespect. They're, yeah. Wonder how they managed to get the, colors. If they're even right. If the colors mean anything, you know, red, white, and blue, maybe it's a patriotic thing.
Maybe. Maybe they found some clothes from back then and just assumed. Couldn't take a decent guess from back then.
Actually, no, that's right. They could have found their old dresses at the museum.
It could have worked.
No, I'm sorry, I'm being really rude. David Bassoon.
Nice to meet you.
What
is my cover name again?
Would you like to roll intelligence? To remember?
Wasn't it goofy as shit?
It was really bad.
Goofy.
It was really fucking bad, that's what it was.
Ivana Hardon.
I'm gonna shake his hand and say, please don't laugh, but name is Ivana Hardon.
You can see. You can see he like there's a quick bit of muscle twitch there as he's kind of expertly stifles a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, not even the weirdest name I've heard. But I can see why you were concerned.
Blame the old man.
Parents, right? You can never pick them.
No, but they're still good.
You here for the event? The You collector?
You can say that.
He nods.
Yeah, there's still some more events to be.
I'm sorry, you were a little muffled there. Could you say again?
The night is still young. There's still some more events to come.
Suppose?
Can I get a perception on his reaction to me saying that?
Give me a wits empathy.
Wits. Where's empathy? Oh, well, this is not gonna fucking go well. Terrible. Never mind.
This man is a cabbage. Cabbages don't have emotion.
Okay, I get nothing. Got it. Thinking about buying this piece?
It just caught my eyes all. Do you know about Miss Hawthorne?
The name doesn't really ring a bell.
Ah, well, that's a shame. I'm a bit of a... You won't tell from the accent. Bit of accent training. People don't tend to respect you when you get into your southern drawl, so I kind of affect a bit of a Brooklyn, you know? For some reason, people take that one seriously, go figure. But I'm a local boy. Grew up in this place, and Miss Hawthorne here, well... She is a bit of a local figure.
Oh?
Was the lover of the founder,
and
a major portion in the city's early politics. Yeah. Nasty rumors about her after a few years, but she was heavily involved in civil rights, women's rights. Shame what happened to Mr. Reed and having to be outlived by a lover and mentor like that. But hey,
What ended up happening?
Oh,
Oh
you
dear.
don't know?
No, I don't know.
Well, you're in for a little bit of local history then. A little civil rights history, little southern history. Shortly after Civil War, Mr. Reed moves down here, right? Takes a bunch of stuff, starts setting up businesses, hiring a bunch of former slaves. Nice guy, pays good, treats his people well. Helps get a very large community set up. Builds Prince Hills. Builds Manor Hill. Real community-minded guy. Champion of civil rights as well. He and his mistress here. And, well, you know, during that era, Reconstruction, a bunch of folks don't like black folks getting ahead. And the Ku Klux Klan, you're aware of them, I assume?
Oh, yeah.
They roll up to Mr. Reed's mansion, brutally murder him. Miss Hawthorne here was not there at the time, survived him. Turned his house into a history museum that he might never be forgotten for his kindness and charity work, and continued his work for many years until she died in childbirth. Maybe it was still the 1800s. Medicine hadn't come that much. Actually, I think people were still sawing each other's legs off at that point in time.
Oh, the age-old leeching must have still happened then.
Some terrible complication.
Medicine wasn't as advanced back then.
No.
An epidemic like COVID would have wiped out everyone.
Oh, God. We wouldn't be able to have this. Yeah. But hey, it's on optimistic time. Shit's on the upswing.
True. Everything's getting back the way it should.
Yeah, everything's gonna be right as rain and right and light sometime soon. I bet you it's true.
Side note, can I do a roll to see if that name has come up in my case files before? Of Hawthorne?
Amanda Hawthorne?
Yeah.
Sure. Is there a history in this game?
I I don't think so.
There is not. There's academics. Give me intelligence academics. It did, in passing. The name Hawthorne definitely did. You came up with Amanda Hawthorne at one point, just because you did some cursory research on the city, as this seemed to be the origin point of things. You do have someone in your mother's side of the family who was named Hawthorne. That was a last name. A maiden name.
I'm building.
No genealogy reports turned up Amanda specifically, though.
Anything look familiar or otherwise in the painting for me?
Well, let's see here for 1 second as I pull it open. Right, you don't have you can't see it right now because it is not a handout. Just give me 1 second. I will correct that. Amanda Hawthorne. Check everybody. Yeah, so I mean, they have the blue eyes. Their hair is kind of graying. Skin tone is different. Noses are different. Ears are different. Similar eyes, though.
Name. Is there like a name of the seller on this thing, though?
This is your DM giving you a hint. Not important. Just a local artist.
Okay.
Yeah, pulling it back to it a little bit. Just a local artist, yeah.
How much time have I spent talking to this guy?
About 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, so that's not some time. I'm gonna bid him farewell and have a look around the rest of the place.
The rest of the art is a mix of things. It seems this Amanda Hawthorne painting is a mix of, like, it's part of a small, like, collection or, like, grouping of paintings about, like, local figures or patriotic history. Like, there's an Abraham Lincoln there, like, a few other portraits of, like, dead historical figures. Everything else is more abstract, more out there. A lot of stuff is apparently, like, people's pandemic projects being put on display and for sale. Mostly, like, paintings or photography, a couple of sculptures. Nothing huge. Things that could actually fit into your apartment, actually.
Me just remembering Sam telling me my apartment looks terrible. Can I do a roll to see if I can spot the guy that I'm supposed to talk to, the bouncer?
They stand out enough that I'm not going to force you to.
Okay.
Asian American man, nice suit, slick back hair, sunglasses, kind of doing their best CIA agent black shirt sort of thing, but you can see tattoos poking out from underneath the collar of their shirt, going up their neck to just the base of their jawline. They're standing in the back past the silent auction table, past the auctioneer.
So, that event for me has not started yet, so I should have about an hour left.
Yeah. You could kill time just sort of wandering around schmoozing. There are hors d'oeuvres being handed out, as well as, like, a little bit of champagne. It's not open bar, but there are drink available options that are free. Food.
I'd like to have one more perception on everything in the area, just to see if there's something that stands out before I just kill time.
Give me a wits alertness. You do see a couple of people moving towards the back. One gentleman does stand out due to their fashion choices. Because unlike everyone else, they're not dressed particularly fancily. This gentleman here,
Mm.
Asian American, borderline tracksuit jacket. Like, I don't know the exact material, but like that, it's some artificial weave. Over a red shirt with a gold chain. They're not attempting to look like they're not showing off. They like the nicest thing on them is that gold chain around their neck. They head past everyone, not stopping to pay attention or look at any of the paintings or anything they'll like. The gentleman you were talking to before, his head turns and follows them as well before he gets to the back and speaks to the gentleman in the back past the auctioneer's table and the silent auction table before being let in and vanishing from the scene.
I'll mull around for about 30 minutes until I have like about an hour or a little under an hour left, then I'll head towards the bouncer.
The bouncer looks at you.
I just give him a
Private
I
event.
bow my head, take out my invitation card and hand it to him.
He looks at it, looks at you, and actually he tucks it into his breast pocket. Welcome to the auction, Miss Boner.
I give him a smell. Thank you. And I give him a little head bow and go inside.
You go into the back and you're stepping into a space. The previous area was like a church that had been renovated. This is like it's a kitchen, like an industrial kitchen or a like a restaurant's kitchen. Sterile, white, and a space has been cleared apart and made open and ready. And as you enter into this space, we're going to cut away from you and downtown to the police station. Over to a mass transit hub. As I find a bit of an appropriate image here. Your GM did not do your GM did not do a picture of a suburb or a bus station. Whoopsie poopsie. Let's just grab this picture.
It happens.
Downtown.
Nobody's ever prepared to write a suburb into a plot.
Right. So
Nothing good ever happens in suburbs.
correct. So, Eleanor, it's been a bit of a time. You've been hanging out for a bit. What have you been doing for the last hour or so?
Jesus, if she's been staying here for like an hour,
Well, actually, how
she's
much time did you leave? Like, did you give yourself enough time to get there and then wait, or what? Because the note
like she probably
state-
would have gotten there with like she's gonna assume that the police chief is probably gonna have a regular general work day of some kind.
Yeah, the note did give you
So
a
her
general
estimate
time of when they'd be leaving.
Wait, they did or they didn't?
It did.
Okay. If she had a general time from them, then she doesn't have to make assumptions on it, so she would have gotten there much closer to that time.
Okay, so you'd
Probably
probably,
with,
be able
like-
to Yep.
I was gonna say 15, 20 minutes to spare.
Okay. So you see her exit out of the police station on foot. A couple of officers with her. She gets a little ways off, pulls out her phone. How close are you? How close did you let yourself get? Because this is you're at a street corner which is down the block from the police station. You're within visible range if you just hung out there, or you could have what's your tactic?
If once she comes out, that's the point when I'm gonna get up and start walking.
Okay.
But I'm staying essentially on the other side of the road, so depending on how big the road is, how wide it is, how noisy it is.
It's pretty quiet. It's not very noisy. This is where downtown peters out and stops, more or less. It's not a complete cutoff, but you're going from tall, fancy buildings. Take this image we're seeing right now. Behind you is a bunch of brownstones. A bunch of places like your house that are maybe duplexes or very nice single homes, or a 5 apartment building that's been smashed between 2 townhouses. So it's
Gotcha.
not very dense. You see her pull out her phone. She's talking on it for a bit. And then she turns to the two officers who came out with her, and she dismisses them. And starts walking. What do you do?
She's taking like a nonchalant walk as if she's kind of heading the same direction, but again, she's like across the street.
Okay.
She'll occasionally like pull out her phone to give any onlookers the idea that she's just like going to meet someone or going somewhere, checking the time, all that jazz.
Try and act natural?
Yes, very much so.
Give me... let's call this appearance streetwise.
Okay. All right. I was looking for streetwise for some reason. I thought it was in the middle. It's not. It's on the left. Difficulty?
You're in a moderately foot trafficked area, and you look like a relatively normal human being. Let's call it 6.
1 success.
1 success? Okay. She stops and looks in your general direction once or twice, and you're not able to, like, get close enough to overhear her conversations or, like, spy on her. But she doesn't spot you or get squirrely. She's just going on a bit of a long stroll, a little further into the less sparsely densely populated part of town, off north. So it's gonna be a bit of a long walk, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
I was gonna say, after it goes probably for like a little while and she still hasn't been able to hear anything that she's been saying if she's making like phone calls or anything, at some point she'll like cross the street onto the same side, but she's keeping a good distance back.
At some point, relatively early on, like, after about 5-10 minutes, she looks at her watch. You see her groan, and she starts hailing down a cab. What do you do?
Just say she like it is hailing as in like she walks to the end of the curb and like waves her hand, or she like pull out an app or like a phone and call a cab.
Shit, yeah, Uber exists by now and has been widely used.
So you also said we're in like a suburb and we're heading in a direction where like it kind of peters out into nothing, so there's not exactly going to be a taxi driving through.
You're like on the border parts of where downtown meets a suburb. So yeah, they're probably calling an Uber. Yeah, because suddenly they just stop and, yeah.
And she's like completely stopped walking. She like planted her feet in a place expecting the Uber to come pick her up.
Actually, wait, she's the chief of fucking police. Wouldn't she just, like, pull over a police car and tell them to drive her someplace? Let's roll their audacity.
It probably depends on her personality.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a d10 here to see how audacious they're feeling, or how important this is to them. Yes. So you see them stop and look around for a little while, and you see a police car coming from the police department, and she starts flagging it down. It stops, the police officer gets out, she's talking to them, then she gets into the car. And they start driving away. Not
Which direction are they heading?
Northwest. Traffic's not good in this area, or the area that they're heading to. You were around over here.
Yeah.
And they're heading northwest about that way.
You said traffic's not good, as in like it's a rush hour and they're like kind of slow.
It's for them, it's going to be faster than walking by a fair margin. But if you hustled, you could keep up on foot, or you could try to like call an Uber, probably, or like, I don't know, find a bike. You could keep up no problem on bicycle, but like otherwise, we might be doing a roll to see if you can keep up while still being nonchalant.
Would there be like bicycles about? Would she find like a bike share or something?
There's probably a bike share in this. Well, after a little bit, you'll come across a bike share. It's just gonna be a matter of keeping the cop car in view.
Yeah. She'll probably keep on foot for a little while until she comes across like a better alternative.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still trying her best to stay roughly hidden or very casual. But even then, at this point now, they've looped back the other direction, so it's gonna look weird when she walks that direction.
Yeah. It's gonna for you. It's gonna take. Let's go stealth here. Stealth is probably gonna be your better bet. So give me dexterity subterfuge to just keep a pace.
Dexterity subterfuge or dexterity stealth?
Oh yeah, no, stealth. Definitely stealth. Dex stealth, just to keep a pace, keep your eye on them, and not be seen until you can like get a bicycle and follow them from like a city bike or a rideshare thing.
Oh no. Okay. Difficulty?
They're not really paying attention to someone tailing them. So let's call this 6. Because you don't really care if random passersby think you weird, you think if they think you're weird, you know?
That's 1 success.
1 success. Okay.
I had 3, but I got 2 1s.
There's always one. There is always one who has the worst luck. Right. It's a little touch and go there, and you think you lose the car for a bit, but for you, luckily, they hit Reed Boulevard, and at that point, you could just fucking walk. And they're on this little stretch of road for a good 30 minutes before they come up to this little gray section of the map over here. Where, like...
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's just on the outskirts of... Sunset Park is like a fairly spread out suburb. It's technically incorporated into Rockfield City, or like Rockfield County City area. But it is like going, using a New York City metaphor, it's like going from densely like brick and brownstone areas in like Brooklyn to like bumfuck Queens. There is enough space between houses here to have actual for real lawns and fences. And this little stretch of land here is between the main highway and that area, and along there you see this old dilapidated building that... You're from here, right?
Yes.
You would recognize this building. It is a bit of a thing in... Well... It's a bit of a thing. A bit of a landmark.
Is it like... what kind of building is it? Residential, commercial?
It's a prison. Or it was a prison. It's called the Fort. It was originally a U.S. military fort built after the Civil War, so it's got a little bit of castle-like exterior, but shortly after, I want to say like 50 years after it went up as a military fort, it stopped serving that purpose, and the city bought it and turned it into a prison. How much do you keep up with like local cryptids and local urban legends and like ghost stories?
Probably not. She probably doesn't look it up, but as she like occasionally scrolls local social media and stuff, she'd probably see like people doing the usual stupid stuff of like pretending that they saw creatures of some kind.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence occult here. The difficulty is low. It's only gonna be like 4.
Intelligence occult. That's 5 successes.
This place is haunted as fuck. It has been on the Travel Channel no less than 3 times, the Discovery Channel twice. It was on Home and Garden TV, for God's sake, about how haunted it is.
Douchebaggins has been here at least twice, once for a normal show, once for a special.
Yep. Like, it was almost on that Bigfoot Hunters show once. For how haunted it is.
Bigfoot Hunters show? Oh no.
Yeah, Mountain Monsters, I think, is the one.
Oh, the one with like all the redneck dudes that like make up mythology on the spot?
Yep. It was almost on that once. You remember their film crew coming in and scouting out and just like, we can't set up a wood trap here, god damn it. We're gonna go find the lizard man.
Can't drive our fucking mule around.
We're gonna go up in the hills and find Lizard Man or the Bargist again. Shit.
What was the one that was like a Native American like massive cat?
Yep.
I forget what that one was called.
Loves this show for how dumb it is. But it is infamous in how haunted it was, because by the time of the 1970s to like early 90s, it was a shit show. It closed down in like, I want to say 85 or something like that, but before that, this place was one of the worst prisons in the United States, and like hundreds of people have died from perfectly preventable things here. And it is allegedly turbo haunted.
The kind of place that's like, yeah, a person died here from a common cold because they just left him in his cell.
Worse, a person asked for medical attention here once and was beaten to death by the guards for like asking for Tylenol equivalently.
What the fuck?
Like it was as bad as a gulag, and before it got shut down. There are rumors of worse things happened. There are rumors of there being a satanic cult in here. It's the sort of place,
you know, every abandoned building, kids go into the basement, they spray a pentagram down there and say, like, put like the devil is here or something on the wall, and everybody's like, it's a cult.
Yeah. There was also a pretty brutal set of murders here in the 90s. Like, people found dismembered and torn apart brutal. I think if I can double check my notes, that might have been what shut it down. But yeah, this place is turbo haunted. Like, the place kids dare each other to even go near, and are just like, yeah, no, fuck that. I'd rather play the game where we run across a highway. Sort of haunted.
I'd rather go jump off the bridge and see which one of us survives.
Yeah. No, it was in. Yeah, it was still in partial use by 1999 before a brutal murder happened here. And it was permanently shut down. Like, it had been being phased out of use since the 80s, but then, like, 10 people were found, like, axe murdered. And, yeah, the chief of police is, like, just getting out of this cop car and walking in. They unlock the front door with, like, that's, like, ridiculous amounts of chains and padlocks, and she's just undoing them. You're entitled to a wits plus awareness, actually.
You want me to roll it? Is that what you said?
Yeah, you're entitled to one if you want to.
I do. Wits plus alertness, you said? Not perception plus alertness?
Oh, hold on 1 second. I did the fucky wucky again. It's wits awareness.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Difficulty.
Let's call this a difficulty 7.
3 successes.
You've been watching this one.
3 8s, a 10, and a 1.
Nice. Well, not the 1, but you've been watching this one for a fair bit now, catching glimpses of her in the back, in the like passenger seat of this police car, and it's weird. When they were talking on their phone and like dismissing their cop friends at the police station, they seemed perfectly fine, perfectly lucid, but you can swear you get a glimpse of her eyes and her movements as she's doing this, and they seem mechanical. There's no intention or emotion behind it. Like, they're going through physical motions, almost like a puppet.
The kind of like dissociated.
Yeah, their eyes are almost glassy as they open this door.
It's a situation of talking to a person, and you finally look back at them, and you realize that they're not there.
Totally.
You're just like, oh, son of a bitch! I just told a whole story.
Yep. And after a couple of minutes of just unlocking padlocks, they open the front door, close behind them, walk in. Not in that exact order.
Is this like a gate? I was gonna say,
There's
it's
a
like a
gate.
place that has like, it has like a fence around it, and she's like unlocking multiple padlocks around the gate.
It's fenced off from the outside. They unlock that with like just one key, open the door, walk past that. They get up to like this set of steps with a large set of double doors at the top of them that have like 3 chains and 3 padlocks around them, and then you're watching as they unlock each one individually, pull the chains out of the double doors, and then open the double doors and go inside. The front is
Then I
also
guess she's making an
covered
approach to
in-
the prison. She's making an
Um,
approach, but she's also like looking for security cameras and stuff because she doesn't trust abandoned places to still not have some sort of security system, especially a prison.
Perception awareness, alertness.
Okay. Does tactical apply?
Yeah, I'll give you that. So if you roll a 10 here, that's doubled.
All right, so it doesn't, you don't do
Difficulty is going
the
to be
extra
6.
dice for it, right?
Yeah, you're not getting extra dice, but if you get a 10, that's
Okay.
2. That's 2 successes.
Oh.
What we got here, man?
I don't mean uh-oh as in bad. I mean uh-oh and hold on a second.
How many
What's
10s
the
were there?
difficulty?
The difficulty was only 6.
There's 2 10s.
Okay. That's at least 4.
But hold on. So that is 8 successes.
8 successes. Okay, so you realize that you're a character in a tabletop role-playing game on an internet website, and there's like a weird devil guy and like a carnival practitioner and a wolf slime person like controlling your destiny with dice. It's weird.
GM, I'm still waiting for you to tell me why that a South Carolina city has a subway.
Because there's Nosferatu in the sewer and they wanted somewhere to live.
All right, I'm putting that in my notes. She now knows
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, figure out if that's real or
It's
not.
canon now.
Looks at my own notes. Yes, have I tipped my hat too hard? No, it's fine. But no, in all reality, all joking aside.
I was gonna say, she's technically only looking for security cameras.
Yeah, no, you see the entirety of the universe, but also, more importantly, there are no cameras. This place looks really run down. Let's say there was one. It is broken. The wire has been cut, the glass dome around it has been smashed, and it looks like the camera itself has been ripped apart for like meth money.
Copper.
Yeah. This place is run the fuck down. It doesn't look like anyone's been inside of it or to it specifically in like 15 years, and that's probably the case. Although, all that said, as you're examining this, there is signs in the dirt and the dust on things that this has been tampered with or opened or unlocked probably within the last couple of days, maybe the same night even. So there might be someone else inside.
Oh, so like the front door, it looks like there's been more people inside than just the police chief walking in.
Yeah, this area has collected a lot of dirt, dust, and debris, and it looks like it's been like more freshly disturbed than just her coming and going.
Gotcha.
You
Sorry if
got
I
8
keep hearing that
successes, I'll
door
give you
slam.
that, yeah.
There's another door open in the house, and whoever keeps going outside, the back door is right next to this room I'm in.
Man, people
So
just
when it
fucking
slams, it
parents
literally
back
just
door.
reverberates through this whole room.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. I barely heard a thing.
I didn't hear anything.
I kept seeing my PNG light up, so I was getting concerned that I saw it earlier too.
Mm-hmm. You're fine. You go inside?
I'm sorry, I missed what the question was because I got scared by the door slamming.
Do you go inside?
Yes.
Okay. You are immediately hit with an ominous sense of foreboding as cold air washes over you. This place... Have you ever been in a place where you could smell the must and the mold and the age? Well, not mold, but like the age and the, like, sedentariness of a place.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're getting that immediately.
It's like like all the paint's like peeling off. There's just chips everywhere.
Yeah, it sounds almost like you're walking on, like, autumn leaves, but no, it's flaked off paint and, like, maybe even crumbled concrete?
Yeah, that
But
makes sense. Prisons aren't exactly built well.
yeah, you can smell the decay and the dilapidation in there, and
There's
you can
asbestos.
honestly maybe you can tell why this place has such a foreboding like reputation, even beyond the atrocities committed here over the century of its practice and opening. Um, this area just feels wrong being inside of it. You can see where the chief has gone off to by the light of like it's either a cell phone light or a flashlight that they're using, and they've gone further in, past what looks like it was once
I can
a
like
security
see down
checkpoint.
like hallways and stuff, and I can see her still walking with a cell phone light.
Yeah, they've not gotten super far ahead of you, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, she's gonna have to take it pretty slow to not like crunch something and make herself obvious.
Yeah, if you would like, you could go ahead and give me a let's call it dexterity stealth as you enter this place.
Difficulty?
For reasons, let's just call it 6.
One success.
Okay, it's slow. It's again slow going, and at some point, you have to start following them less than by the light from their phone or flashlight, and more so by the sounds of their feet and the distant echoing of like crunching paint and like concrete flecks. You might even have to break out your own flashlight or like phone light at some point and follow them by like the impressions in the old dirt and dust left behind in this place. And
Yeah.
the deeper you go in, the worse and worse this impression gets, and the more and more signs of the abuses and horrors that have been committed here are in here. You see the stains and the remains of sweat baked into the walls, blood on the floor, and like decades old human effluence and filth. The bars into these, frankly, ridiculously overcrowded cells. You see cells that are built for like they look like they should be holding cells, but their walls are like because they're iron bars drilled into the concrete of this place in the stone, but there's like so there's absolutely no privacy in this, but they have bunks in them, and they have too many bunks for their size. Like there's
Because are these the kind of bunks that are like made out of like the concrete and stuff?
They're
Or are these like metal bunks?
It's a mix. There's some that are just a wooden slab held aloft by a chain. There are some that are just like a concrete shelf in a wall. This place was apparently, even though it was never in great condition, a work in progress. But there are some cells that are no bigger than like 20 square feet that have enough bunks for 10 people. And eventually you come out into a panopticon. A single tower and a ring of these cells. None of them have anything even resembling privacy. All of them are open to catwalks around them. And you...
Oh, this is a gigantic prison. I'm sorry, I didn't get that image from when we were outside.
Yeah, it's big. It's not, like, giant. It looks like if this had normal proportions, could fit a couple hundred people. But from the way these cells have been set up, it could probably fit, like, close to 1,000. Even 2. And as you enter this panopticon, this dark void that... because it's roofed off. There's no sunlight coming in from the top. It goes down. And it keeps going down. And there's a bridge about halfway down at what you'd assume would be ground level, connecting the panopticon to the rest of the prison. But... God, it's so dark in here, you can't see the bottom.
Can't see ground floor. Tower just looms out of the darkness.
You know where you came in, you're on the ground floor. It goes into the earth. It goes deep. You see before the light of like your phone or whatever you have on you gives out, that it goes down at least 3 floors before your cell phone can no longer light it.
Jesus. Do I see the chief anywhere?
You do. Again, it's a panopticon, so it opens up. There's more light in, like, her small cell phone light is a glint in the darkness. And you can see just barely silhouetted her and 2 other figures. They have the light of her cell phone lighting them. And they're not super far away, but I'm going to assume you're peeking around the corner. As to not be seen.
Yeah, she would, the second she, heard somebody stop or could see her, she would, extinguish whatever light she had. In this case, I think she'd be, using her phone, but she wouldn't be using, the camera flashlight.
Yeah,
she would be using, a medium light from the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At this point, you can hear them echoing. If you want to actually hear what's being said, it's going to be a roll. You can hear conversation happening. You can hear people talking coming from the other side of this panopticon, this yawning portal of darkness in the earth.
She's probably going to try to get a little bit closer, in the dark, and just guarantee that she can hear.
Give me a perception alertness to see if you can hear. If you don't roll minimum 2 successes, we're going to ask for a stealth dex to get closer without being seen.
Does tactical apply?
Tactical will not be applying here.
Okay. What was the difficulty?
Let's call this difficulty 7.
4 successes. Oh,
4 successes.
Sorry, 5.
5. You hear.
I had my hand blocking one of the dice that was a 7.
Oh, how unfortunate. Good thing you spotted. I'm going to reveal a couple of portraits here, just for the sake of it, because you got a very good roll. You see 2 men. One in fairly trendy, nice clothes. Looks almost like they came out of a music video. Curly, tight dreads. A little prince medallion around their neck from the looks of it, but I mean, you're not close enough to see that exact detail. I'm just going to show the portrait for the sake of it.
You mean the artist formerly known as Prince?
He got the rights to his name back. He can be Prince again. I think.
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Fuck. Shit. I guess he is the artist formerly known as Prince. Fuck.
No, the symbol that was his thing. That's his name. It's the symbol of the artist formerly known as Prince.
No shit. Okay, well that's neat. I learned something today. As well, you see a man who looks like he walked out of a blaxploitation film.
That's a good description.
A large afro, suit jacket, tall, collared, turtleneck. And they're having a conversation while Loretta is just standing there. And you hear them. Why the fuck are we here again? This place has bad memories and it goes back a long way. Call it nostalgia. One second, your DM is loading a thing real fast. Apologies. Where are those notes? Oh no. Yeah. Why are we here again? This place has bad memories. We lost someone here. Call it nostalgia. I've done a lot of good work here. Yeah, well, a lot of bad work's been done here too. What's the point? Enough of your belly aching. We have business. Loretta, so nice of you to join us. Listen very carefully. I will not repeat myself. The Chakravanti, have someone watching them. As well as Agent Willard. He is going to have an unfortunate, very racially charged accident and be killed. He is not an FBI agent, do not worry about it. One more Black Lives Matter protest won't matter. Just make sure that he is no longer breathing by the end of the week. Yes. Of course. Hold on a second, man. Don't we need 4 of them? And you're gonna bump one off and have 2 spied on? What did I say about belly aching, Sharif? It's not becoming of you. Besides, our friend, our patron, has found a solution that does not require such volatile assets to look into us, and our other friend very much does not like the cut of Agent Willard's jib. Still don't like it. Well, I don't care what you like, Sharif. You're a good man. You do good work. Never had an enforcer quite like you, but you need to look at the bigger picture. I'd love to if you shared it. Again, the lining. I don't want to have to use dominate on you. Stop it. You hear me? Yes, Mr. Burrock. I am your sire. I know you're not a kid, but I'm due the respect. Again. Yes, my sire. Good. Good. Well, what are you waiting for, Miss Morgan? Get the hell out of here and make sure it gets done. Yes. Eleanor, you're entitled to a wits plus awareness.
Wits plus, you said alertness?
Awareness.
Awareness, okay.
As the man with the sunglasses perks up for a moment.
Difficulty.
Difficulty is going to be 4. Something wants you to see something.
4 successes. I rolled 2 3s. That didn't count for anything.
You feel a weird hum in the air. Like electricity moving through power lines. A scent of
like
ozone.
Hair on the back of your neck stands up moments.
Yes. A scent of ozone entering into the atmosphere as well, before the old, burnt-out lights of this building flicker for a moment, and the gentleman who just gave their orders to Loretta and talked down to the man who looks like he came out of a blaxploitation movie, the man named Sharif, perks up and looks at a cell phone in his hand. You look down at the ground, and written in the same cursive handwriting in the dirt and the dust is the word, "They have found us. Run."
The second she sees that, like, her eyes go wide and she absolutely fucking hoofs it.
Yeah, you just break out into a sprint as we, the audience, see this man named Burak turn to this man named Sharif. Seems our friend has found intruders, and there they go. Sharif, put thy words to proof and catch our little spy. Yes, sire. And we're going to come back to your chase sequence in a little bit. As you haul ass out of the fort. We cut away to the back room of the kitchen in the, I'll find the closest thing I have to, like, a kitchen back room. It's nowhere near close, but it'll do for now. We cut back to Stiletta Noir in the kitchen of the old church. A sterile scene with a number of well-dressed individuals just sort of milling about. A small display of books and bobs and a strange necklace that you can't quite get a good angle on at a bit of a raised spot in this kitchen past a set of burners. Gentlemen you saw earlier. Not the one from the party itself who you spoke to, but the one you saw in passing.
They have the gold chain.
Yep. Give me one second. I'm going to give this person who came in a shout out. I don't like to interrupt the stream, but thank you so much for rating.
And dust off the half a pack of cookies I've been eating during this time. You may have walked down half of it during that scene.
Right, so you find this man, Park Ji-hoon. He's standing at the head of this little gathering. Let me change the track real fast to something a little less... Let's just go the Hollywood main theme, why not? A little less foreboding. You see him at the group of these individuals, just getting them to settle down and quiet down a little bit. Greetings, esteemed guests.
I joined the group.
You do so easily. I come here, you have all gathered here today as I have recently come into a set of objects of interest that is central to all of you in the matters of the occult. Today's auction will be a standard affair. Please do not get violent. It will not end well if you lose. Am I clear? There's a slight murmur. Excellent. The first thing we are auctioning off is a uncommon occult object. A book by the name of the Book of Nod. This is one of several copies. They are much like the Egyptian Books of the Dead, each one an individual artifact of grave importance to several individuals and types of individuals. I shall start the bidding at $100,000. And hands go up, bids fly out. There are a quick frenzy that gradually dies down before he introduces another occult object. Do you bid at any point in time?
Can I have a quick roll using my occult to check these objects?
Sure.
Do I know anything about them?
Intelligence
I do have
occult.
some occult. Intelligence plus occult. Okay. I don't think I have any specialities on. I do have concentrate if that helps, but I don't think so.
Cult will not help you here.
Okay. Jesus.
What you get real fast here while I tune down the vampire music just a scooch. That's gonna be 2 successes. The Book of Nod stands out. You've heard about it in passing, some old codex about pre-Noah's flood. Like spiritual history. There's something about a totem thing that mentions a specific Native American tribe. There's a number of weird objects being brought up, being put on for sale. A few of them raise some flags about being attached to, like, weird-ass backwards ideas of the supernatural. Vampire cults, weird Native American mysticism. There's apparently, like, a chalice being sold here that is mentioned to be owned by the Order of Hermes, which is a, like, old gentleman's club from the medieval era, like, a group of alchemists that used, like, Greek alchemical practices, maybe, or something like that, to, like, try to find the Philosopher's Stone or something. You're not entirely sure. By the way, that is the actual origins of the Orders of Hermes in real life. or the hermetic, like, traditions. Um, But eventually, your target gets picked up and put and held in their hand. This
Just
is
as a side note, I raised my hand once for the goblet just to blend in, and then had someone else outbid me.
Yeah, you get outbid pretty fast. Give me a appearance streetwise real fast. Let's see how well you blend in.
Appearance and streetwise.
Yeah, let's go for that. Or etiquette. Actually, etiquette.
Where is that?
It's under skills. Should be right under drive.
I have no etiquette. Great.
So uncouth.
So I'm rolling the appearance for you. Then
Yep.
just.
You barely manage to blend in, not making an ass of yourself and not, like, breaking the basic terms of an auction.
I would know how these things work. I go around in galleries and shit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, totally. You've also seen, like, TV shows and movies where these things happen. Yeah, and eventually this man lifts up a strange amulet. Gold chain, black as night gemstone embedded in the center of it. You can't tell what kind it is. With a brass ring wrapped around it, and then a number of hands clutched, like, it's a pattern made of hands coming out of hands, like forearms, reaching up and grabbing the forearm in front of it, and then in a big circle around it.
Okay, so it's just a continuous circle of arms and hands.
Yeah, single ring of like arms holding each other. Yeah. And this is a particularly sought out artifact known as the Heart of Corruption. I know there are several interested parties in the room. Let us start the bidding at $10 million US.
Can the brooch thingy on my chest see it's there?
From this angle, probably not. But if you stood up to place a bid, probably you might be able to get. Yeah.
I'll bid once someone else has bid.
A hand goes up.
Then I
You
bid.
see a man. This man in particular.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Yes?
you watched the last one. A man stands up, raises his hand. 12 million. And 12 million US dollars. Yeah. Do you bid again? Or do you
I bid
for
again.
Okay.
I bid again. 13.
Alright, let's not fuck around here, okay? What's a good number? 25 mil.
I won't bid against him again. I'm sure the camera got a shot of it.
Mm-hmm. You're entitled to a wits alertness.
Wits and alertness.
After that, you're entitled to a wits perception.
Does my acute senses also factor into this?
It does, but you didn't roll any 10s here. Actually, no. Acute senses, that's a merit, right? Not a...
Yeah, it's a merit.
What does that do exactly?
It enhances my senses of something specific, so with me it's my eyes. I can see
It doesn't reduce difficulty, I think.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just check it.
That would be nice to know, so I'm not cheating about any successes here.
I'm going to find it, though. It just takes a second for it to load.
One of your senses is exceptionally sharp. It might be sight, hearing, smell, or touch or taste. The difficulties for all tasks involving the use of this particular sense is reduced by 2.
Okay, it was 2.
Okay, that does have a bigger impact.
I just wanted to know how the system part
that's
worked.
4 successes then.
I rolled twice, so you have the 2 rolls you wanted.
Yeah, the first one is 4 successes. Actually, the first one's only 2 successes, so that was the awareness. The second one is 4 successes. So, as you place your bid, the rat's in the room. It's not looking at you anymore. It's looking at the pendant.
Right.
Also, shortly thereafter, the gentleman you did speak to at the gallery before comes in. After you hear a wet crunching noise that sounds like someone's nose being smashed into the back of their head.
Okay.
This man strides into the kitchen with a handkerchief rubbing his knuckles. Alright. Nah. I'm gonna go with my original speaking voice here so you are all abundantly clear. If any of you motherfuckers... Hold on, what the fuck are you doing here? They look across at the man in the hoodie. Cleaning up a mess. Clearly I didn't need to, though. Whatever. Get the fuck out. They stand up and start to leave before the man leading the auction tries to get them to stop. Hold the on. They are not on this guest list. Oh no, I am. You see, it's very rude to steal someone's. Sorry, yeah, okay, you got the camera on them? Cool. See, it's very rude to break into someone's home and then start selling their property in a house in which they invest heavily in. But again, you only managed to steal it because I wanted you to get it, you rat Asian piece of shit. Chadwick, get the fuck out.
I'm keeping a stone cold.
Yeah, a bunch of people start trying to get the fuck out of here. Right, let me find some music real fast. Are you staying, or are you trying to get the hell out?
I'm gonna take this as my cue to try and get out.
There is
because I ain't got shit on me.
So here's the problem. This big dude is blocking the exit. He lets the guy with the scramble hat out without any resistance. You're gonna have to try to get past him.
Has anyone else gotten past him?
They're trying. I'm gonna say a few people managed to get there before them, and he flicks his wrist and sends them flying. A man goes crashing into a refrigerator. A man hits like one of the cutting boards of the kitchen, and you hear bones crunch. You hope it's just ribs.
Okay. I'm not gonna try and get past him. I'm gonna try and see how the situation folds out, but I'm keeping my stone cold expression. Just side note, I have the poker face merit.
Cool. So I asked this last time, but like, there's no like courage roll stat in this game, unfortunately. Because you're gonna start seeing some weird supernatural shit, and that typically doesn't go well for normal humans in the world of darkness.
Here we go again.
Just go ahead and roll me your willpower rating in D10s.
So it's the amount of willpower I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Never mind.
That's a success. So you don't start immediately panicking as Pak Jin-hoon, the man in the like almost tracksuit getup, the windbreaker and the gold chain.
Mm-hmm.
His hands distend into claws. His muscles visibly tensen and tighten as his skin goes paler than white milk and his eyes go jet black. You can hear Mr. Bisson's suit strain and begin to tear under the effect of tightening, bulking muscle as he opens his mouth and two fangs distend from his upper and lower jaws. And your perception earlier was high enough. I'm going to give you this one for free. It's going to be hard to miss anyway. You see the rat climb out of a window near the top of the roof, and you hear footfalls. Very, very heavy ones that can be heard through the wall of the building as you start to feel the floor shake. What do you do?
Say again, you cut out?
What do you do?
So he's morphing in front of me.
One of them is
In
morphing,
response
one
to
of them
this.
has become, like, hulking out.
And the rat left through a window, and I heard footfalls.
Yep. Big, heavy ones.
How big is that window?
You could squeeze through it if you could get up to it.
What's between me and the window?
Nobody. Well, you'd have to run past these two weirdos staring each other down.
As in close to them that they could swipe me, or?
They're far enough apart that you wouldn't be in danger of them swiping at you, but if they lunged at each other, you'd be caught in the crossfire.
That's not a
Your
good
perception
idea.
is also high enough that there is another one of these little, like, tiny windows for letting steam out of the kitchen nearby. You might want to try to go for that one.
And I can fit through it.
Yeah, it might be a tight squeeze, but if you look the right amount of adrenaline, sure.
I want to wait a second and see if they lunge for each other, and if they do, I'll make a break for that window.
You hear the word Canite Scum and the word Quajin Demon being exchanged between these two moments before they
Motherfuckers.
seem poised to pounce. And then the roof explodes into a shower of splinters and shattered tile as a fucking monster straight out of a Hollywood movie comes crashing in in between them and lets out a blood-curdling roar.
Motherfuck!
As you find yourself in a room with a Quajin, a vampire, and a werewolf. I'm going to need another willpower roll to avoid the delirium.
That looks better.
That's a success, yes. So... Yeah, just give me 1 second while I change track again. Something a little more intense. Do I have something more? Did I have a fight track in here? Shit, I don't think I do. That's something I need to get in then. I'll just keep it on Disturbed and Twisted. As this blood-curdling roar goes out, and both of these figures go from these posturing monsters about to tear at each other to visibly terrified. You hear Basone shout, "Shit," as the werewolf backhands him, cementing him into a wall and having it crack and break, the stone itself shattering with his body. The Asian man who I've been giving you his name, probably shouldn't have done that, but, too late for that.
I'll forget it later.
Reaches out and an arc of this green energy, these almost like lightning, strikes from his fingertips and crashes into the werewolf as it lets out another blood-curdling roar and backhands him, sending him flying into several amounts of cooking of, like, kitchen material, breaking an oven and having a small explosion go off. You feel the heat on your body flaring up as this amulet, this heart of corruption, goes scattering down at your feet. Your eyes snap to it, almost as if they're grabbed by forces outside of your control.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a voice in your head. Pick me up. I could show you so much, just pick me up and run.
It's at my feet, right?
Yeah, it's like between your legs.
Is anyone looking at me like this thing?
No, the werewolf seems a little distracted, as do
The other guys just got KO'd.
They're pulling themselves out of a new crater in the wall, actually.
I'm gonna be really stupid. I'm gonna grab it and tuck it in my pocket.
Okay.
And go for that window. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
You start crawling at the window, and the rat's there waiting for you, and it squeaks. And you look over, you feel compelled to, almost. Looking over your shoulder, the werewolf is now looking at you and lets out a roar. You hear another voice in your head. Quiet at first, though Like someone screaming a warning at you from a faraway place. Fucking run! We're going to die if you don't fucking run.
I will listen to that voice and I will bolt it.
Okay, give me a dexterity and I think it's athletics in this game? Yes. See how well you climb the wall and squeeze out of it.
I only have that. Can I use a willpower?
Yes, well, using a point of willpower will give you one automatic success.
Okay, so I'm rolling my 2 dex then.
Mm-hmm. You manage to get up to the window and start clawing your way through before you feel a pair of hands, like, almost grab at you.
Ooh.
You go falling out of the window onto the ground outside before another loud roar comes out from behind you. You've put some distance between yourself and at least one solid stone wall. What do you do?
I don't trust that wall. I'm still fucking legging it.
Where are you running towards? Just into the city in general, or are you just generally legging it? Is there a destination in mind?
My car.
Okay. You start hauling ass as fast as you can, as fast as your feet can take you. You got a little bruised up climbing through that window and then landing hard, but it's not enough to hurt you. And then, moments later, you hear heavy footfalls behind you. Not heavy like a tank made out of flesh heavy, but heavy like a person landing. Do you glance over your shoulder to see as you run?
Yeah.
You see David Bassan, the front of his shirt ripped open, and what looks almost like burn marks in the shape of claws going down, like Chris Pine Captain America abs. As they are stalking towards you. You gonna give that... One second. Y'all gonna give that back if you know what's good for you.
Shit.
Shortly thereafter, unfortunately...
Does he match the description? Oh, never mind.
Match the description of what? Go ahead.
Match the description that Sam gave me of the person that hired him.
Well, Sam did say they were hot, but they did specifically call them a them, and they are pretty good at gendering people. Or remembering people's genders. And this man is definitely male-presenting.
It's not the same person. Okay, right, I'm still listening.
Mm-hmm. Shortly thereafter, unfortunately, the werewolf does land in front of you and let out a bellowing roar.
This thing's huge, right?
It is easily 8 feet tall or taller, rippling muscle, broader than a building, bigger than your car. Yes.
Oh, should I? If I try and slide, like as I'm running, just do a slide, can I go between its legs?
You can certainly try.
They can crash into each other instead.
You can certainly try. That'll be, let's call it another dexterity athletics here, as you try to do a power slide.
I would like to use another willpower if that's possible.
Sure! Difficulty 6 because this is contested. You got 2 successes, they got 3.
Motherfuck, I'm screwed.
You hear something screaming in your head. Again, distant. Running is not gonna work. We need to wake up. We need to wake up or it's going to kill us. As you drop down, try to jump into a power slide, it wraps its entire hand around your torso and lifts you up at eye level. What do you do?
It's got its... Are my arms free?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you that for free.
Where's the other guy that was chasing me?
Behind you. Looks like they were about to lunge at you, but they're thinking better of it considering they're being held by a werewolf.
Shit. Can I guess this thing's like a werewolf with my occult?
You don't need to guess. You've seen werewolf movies. It is a giant anthropomorphic humanoid thing with a wolf face covered in fur. Also, the fur has, like, the patterns of vines and rosebuds all over it for some reason.
I'm gonna like put my hands up. Go, whoa, big boy. I've got no business with you.
Okay, I'm sorry that I laughed here. First, just give me... fuck is this? Charisma expression?
Where the fuck is expression?
It's under talents. Above intimidation. Underneath empathy. About halfway down.
Okay.
You have none. I'm looking at your sheet right now.
Yep, I'm screwed.
You hear the voice closer, screaming, I said wake up! Don't try to flirt with it! We're asexual, you idiot! Wake up! And
Can I scream back in my own head?
Go for it, actually.
How the fuck do I wake up? I can't attack this thing.
Just fucking... Okay, just to be cinematic about this. This is screaming in your head while this thing is lifting you up towards an open maw about to bite you in two, like a Snickers bar. This voice, loud and clear as a bell, screams, just fucking wake up! And in a flash of brilliance in your mind, in a crystallizing second, you scream to stop. Everything is going too fast. Madness is happening. You just learned that werewolves were real today, and
other weird shit that just
other
happened.
weird shit is happening, and you're about to be eaten like a Slim Jim. Too much is happening. You demand things stop, that you can catch your breath, that you can think, that you can get your mind straight. And then everything does. The world, for a brief moment, stops. Everything stops staunch still. Except it doesn't. You realize that everything that thinks has. The plants are still moving. The breeze is still blowing. The lights are still going. In a far away enough distance, you can still see cars moving. But the monster behind you and the monster holding you have completely frozen staunch still, as if commanded by you. What is the command that you give this thing?
Put me down.
It gently and gingerly lowers you to the ground and releases you.
Can I give them both a command?
You can certainly try.
Deal with each other.
Do you stamp out of their way?
Yes. Yes.
You step out of their way, and in a flash, the two crash into each other. Tooth and claw, fist and blade, slashing, tearing, fighting until they throw each other apart and look like they're gearing up to go at each other again. I assume at this point
I'm leaving.
Yes.
I've left the second they went for each other. I've fucked off.
Yes, you get to your car, put your key in the ignition, and floor it. And as these things fight in the distance in the background, as you flee as quickly as you can, the world grows heavy. It's like that surgeon who drank that energy drink this morning. But so much more. Your body is buzzing to the point in which you think like you're going to vibrate through your car and into the earth itself. And quite concerningly, you black out.
Oh, fuck baskets.
Yeah.
I'm driving.
No, it's fine. It's just that usual like dissociative driving when you like leave work and then wake up in your driveway and you're like, huh.
Honestly.
I'm alive.
And from there, we're going to cut away. Just outside of the... what do I call that place again? Fuck, brain.
I don't think you ever said its proper name. You just called it a prison.
It's known as the Fortress. The prison is called... It has a correct correctional facility's name. It even has a correct name as a fort, but people just call it the fort. Eleanor, I assume you're running
Yes.
as fast as your feet can carry you.
She, like, seeing the writing appear on just a random surface, basically, like, sent her from probably sitting at, like, a 1 in terms of feelings straight through to 11.
Because that's the first time something like that's happened ever with your
Yes.
patron. The notes have just always appeared. They haven't formed in front of you in the dirt.
Yes, they've never been, like, instantaneous response necessary or anything like that. So upon seeing it, like I said before, her eyes just go extremely wide, and she goes from probably like crowd on the catwalk in the panopticon to immediately fucking hoofing it.
Right. So I would like you to roll me a dexterity athletics to see how fast you can run.
Okay. Right.
This is opposed to
difficulty.
target number 6.
Oh shit. You said 10s can't be countered by 1, right?
Correct. Though this is opposed, so you're trying to get more than the guy chasing you.
It's only 1 success then.
Ooh, that's 1.
It would have been
versus
2.
4.
But there was some
Yeah.
ones.
So you run, and 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 you run as fast as you can carry you, because you just witnessed something
I
supernatural.
didn't say I used willpower before, but I would have. But I'm gonna live on making the mistake say that I didn't do it before.
I mean, I'll allow you to use it if you want, but they got 4 successes. It's not going to make the difference.
That's totally fine then.
You run as fast as you can, but in a heartbeat. Well, not a heartbeat. After a few seconds, this man who looks like they stepped out of Shaft, or fucking Black Dynamite even, is on you.
The one from the conversation?
Yeah.
Or a different person?
No, the one from the conversation.
Okay.
I'll show it again. They're on you.
Okay, this is Sharif.
Mm-hmm. In a moment after they catch up, they pivot on one foot and go to hit you with a clothesline. You may give me a dex brawl to try and not get power slammed here.
Not to just get absolutely devastated.
Just bodied.
Difficulty.
It is an opposed roll. Dex brawling. Ooh, Sharif. You're supposed to be better than this.
2.
So you managed to duck out of the way. I don't even need to see the die.
She's still hoofing it.
Mm-hmm. Since one killed white girls,
This
one
building
got
has
it.
now just become an obstacle course that she is trying to get out of.
Mm-hmm. You run and you run and you run. And then, echoing through the halls, you hear the word stop. Please roll me your current willpower rating.
Okay.
You are currently a normal mortal, so the difficulty will be 8.
Alright, gotcha. 2 successes. Not bad.
Okay. You hear a voice in your head. A whisper. We have to run. We have to wake up. He's going to kill us. They're going to kill us. We have to run. But even with that voice in your head, even with your own fight or flight instincts, the command of stop is too strong. In 3 steps, boom, 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 you shed off all momentum and come to a stark standstill. As footfalls come up behind him, this Barak gentleman.
She's having like very, very quiet panic, like internally panicking. Probably because she quite literally can't do anything else.
What do we have here? Another one of those little gophers sent by the old bitch who doesn't know how to stay dead. Shame. Then again, who am I to judge about being dead? It's real hard to avoid. Trust me, we'll learn that in a moment. It takes a good minute for this guy to catch up. Sharif, the man with the afro, stands in the hall, ostensibly to block you from running, but it's if you could move, you would be able to just run around past him. You're entitled to do another willpower roll here to try and break out of this, to try and wrestle yourself free, as this voice in your head is screaming distantly, so distantly, to wake up.
Same difficulty?
Yes.
1 success.
You feel yourself starting to move. Your muscles are revolting against you. Your body doesn't want to, but you're forcing it to. You're not running yet, but you're starting to walk, stumblingly. It's not enough to get you away, though. It's enough to buy you a little bit of time. Ooh. You're strong-willed. Last one the bitch sent, he crumbled in a second. I haven't seen a mortal resist that dominate for years. I'm almost impressed. Ah, shit, I am impressed. It's good night. What were your orders? Tell me. Why'd she send you here? Speak. You're entitled to another willpower test to resist his dominate. Same roll.
Okay. Oh shit. 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, so you're no longer being dominated, first off. Second off, I assume you're going to try to book it again.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be an opposed dex brawl because they're trying to grab you.
Hey. Oh, sorry, that's too many dice. Difficulty.
Opposed, so difficulty 6.
3 successes.
You tie, actually. I'm going to say tie defender wins. You managed to start booking it again. I love a good game of cat and mouse. It's going to be fun. Go on, hunt dog catcher. You managed to get as far as the entrance to the fort. To the fort.
Like the gate?
Yep. I'm assuming
like the door of the fort.
You. The door of the fort.
No, she did not.
Okay, well.
Door of the fort. Okay, gotcha.
Raven's gonna try to catch you again. How many successes did you get on that running?
On the last running?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it was the first one. I think was 1 before he tried to clothesline me.
No, wait, no. I had you roll opposed dex brawl. Roll me dex athletics again, because they're chasing you again.
Oof. Okay. This one's opposed again, or
Yep.
something else?
They're still opposed. You have to beat 3 successes.
3 again.
Shit. Okay, it's neck and neck. You're still as close together as you were at the start of this. They are just behind you. They are on your heels. What do you do? You can see the street lamps ahead outside. The sun has gone down since you've started this. Like completely.
Yeah. You said not completely?
Completely.
Or completely
now.
now. Okay, gotcha. I'm trying to think of how she would do this, because at this point she's probably come to the realization that she can't outrun them.
Yeah,
So
I'll tell you this one for free, because you can hear something in your head telling you to wake up, telling you to run. It's not just instinct or adrenaline, it's a separate voice. It sounds familiar, though, like you've always known it. In addition to that, like, you can still hear things around you just fine. This man isn't breathing. Normally, after this much running, you'd be panting, you'd be wheezing, especially if you're out of shape in any way, shape, or form. Or like you'd have a controlled, steady breath. There is nothing coming from this man. That is just behind you, just out of arm's reach.
so just out of arm's reach. She's probably not going to be fast enough to be able to like try and either cause a distraction or say get to the entryway and like turn and slam the door on him. Not even like intentioning to close both doors because she wouldn't be able to do that, but just like slam it against him.
The gate's pretty light. You could try with that, try to get him tangled up in it, because it's a chain link fence and a chain link gate.
Yeah, she'd probably try to do that. Especially if there's no like light post or anything that she could use as momentum to kind of flip around or something.
I mean, there's a set of steps going down out of it, and then the city streets and a bicycle you came into here on. If you like, you could try to manage to get away through that, but the slamming the gate is probably your best bet. Give me Dex Brawl. Let's call it difficulty 7. This guy knows his way. This is not this guy's first rodeo.
Oh shit! 3 successes.
3 successes. My guy. Okay. You slam this into him, and he gets tangled up into it for a second. It's you bolt. You jump down the front steps to the fort.
She does not even hit the second step. She is like so much momentum, so much forward movement.
You fly out like a gunshot. You practically hit the ground and roll before slamming the gate, the chain link gate in front of this guy. Like it's one of the swinging ones, not one of the sliding ones. And it slams him in the face, and his afro gets tangled up in it for like a couple of seconds, buying you enough time to maybe get to the bicycle.
She's probably going to abandon the bicycle because to get like started up motion on a bicycle is going to be slower than just absolutely fucking hoofing it for herself.
All right. I need you to give me one last willpower roll as you hear the word stop one last time.
Oh Jesus, this was contested again, right?
This is, I'm going to call it difficulty 7. I'm not going to look up dominate on the fly
7?
here, so yeah. It is
okay.
But your difficulty is a little higher because they're a vampire. You're immortal.
Yeah, 2. I wanted to see if it was 6 because if it's 6, it's 4 successes. Damn it!
Yeah, it's 7. Your body rolls against you one last time as a booming voice shouts, "I said stop." We're talking about this later. You feel a man's hand grab you by the back of the neck. Call the coroner, make sure we can get... fuck it, just throw it in the pit. You hear the voice screaming as loud as possible. We are going to die. They're going to kill us. We will never have been. We're going to fail them. We're going to fail our father. We're going to fail everyone. We're going to die. Wake up! And then you feel their teeth on your neck. 2 fangs puncturing in. Your crimson light essence flowing out. It is at once the most horrific and terrifying thing you've ever felt, and strangely the most sensational, blissful feeling in your life. Your mind flashes with this horrific dichotomy as this voice in your back of your head screams louder and louder to wake up. This twisted, horrific feeling of terror and bliss crashes through you as you feel the last bit of blood drain from your body, every bit of your being running stone cold. And then something breaks. Something tears. Not your flesh, your very soul. You wake up all right. But if you've ever woken up and you felt a rad crick in your neck or a pain in your back, you woke up wrong. The screaming voice gets louder and shrill, like someone screaming their last death cry until their vocal cords tear. It's like the shattering of glass, the smashing of a mirror echoing through your mind as you are no longer where you were. You are no longer in this monster's grip. You are nowhere. Sitting beneath a street light, half illuminated by the harsh light of the city lighting and half cast in darkness as this thing is eating you. You are gone. Whisked into darkness, pulled through the light. Eleanor Barnes, you awaken the next night in your home, but something has gone horribly wrong. You've escaped this night. You've awakened, you are now a mage. All the things you'll learn of in time. But unlike the rest of our friends, something isn't right. If you want to find out what happened to Eleanor Barnes in Still Noir, tune in to Shadows, Mage the Ascension, Shadows Under Rockfield.